Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are diving into Enhanced Object Literal, one of the most elegant features introduced in ES6 that makes working with object cleaner and more initiative. If you have been following along with the course, you already know the basic of object, but ES6 brought some fantastic shortcut that will make your code more conscious and readable. Let's explore this enhancement together. First is the traditional object syntax. Before we jump into the enhancement, let's quickly review how we traditionally create object in JavaScript. In traditional way, we create object like this. This is the constant and this is your object, right? In this object, we are passing the variable name, also passing, also have a grid, I mean the function, right? And whenever you console log this, you get this full object. Actually, here repeating the property name, right? You notice repeating the property name, and we write this name clone name, age clone age. It's redundant. And look at the method definition. We have to write the function keyword every time, right? And ES6 gives us the better way to handle this situation. So the first is the property shorthand. This first enhancement is property shorthand. When your property name match the variable name, you can simply write it once. It means just copy this code, paste it here, and just comment this code from here. When the name is matched, you don't need to type it twice. Just did this, and this is okay. Now it's fine. Okay, and you get the output exactly same as it is. When you console log this, your output will be look like this. Okay, this console log, and you get the output this one. Okay, exactly same. The name. So this is a shorthand, and you see how much cleaner that is. JavaScript automatically create the properties with the same name as the variables. This is incredibly useful when you are working with function parameters or the structured values. So let's see a practical example. I mean, we already create something, right? Suppose let's create a user. This is a create user, and it's return the username, email, role, and created it with the new date. I mean the current date. This new date means the current date. When we execute this with the create user and store this function in this new user constant variable and and then execute this new user, you get the result exactly. Okay, so let's check. Open your terminal. Let's see what is showing here. Okay, comment it. Open. Note this file is 056 and this one. Okay, you see. Notice the username is code123, coder123, coderexample.com, and admin, and current date. I mean, they created it. This time is current. I mean, now to 2025 and the 19th is the date. Okay. Okay. These shorthand make your code more maintainable and less prone to type. Okay. Now method number is 3. This call is method shorthand. The second enhancement is method shorthand, and instead of writing the function keyword for method, we can use a much shorter syntax. So, previously, I mean, in older way, we are using this like that: add function, subtract function, right? But in ES6 method, we don't need to repeat multiple times. Just add. I mean, we are using the callback function. Look like the callback. We do here we are using the function, but here we don't need to call this function anymore. Function keyword. Just use the parenthesis, and that's it. And this is execute as a function, and we get the exact result. Multiply, subtract, or add, doesn't matter. Okay, and also if we want a little bit complex example, want to see, then this one the little bit complex example. You see, there is a user first name, last name, also have a great full name and function, greet function. Okay, in this user, when user dot get full name call, I mean this function call, you get the Alex Johnson, because in the return we already call the first name, right, and last name. That's why we get the Alex. And when we use the greeting, because this greet have a parameter as a time of day, that's why we are passing the time of day. And this is good morning Alex, because when you using the morning, that means it's use the Alex, good morning. I mean, good morning, Alex Johnson. Okay, great. Now the computed property names. Now here is where things get really interesting. Computed property names. This feature allow you to create property names dynamically using expression in square bracket. Okay. So what it is? Suppose you have a two variable, two constant, and you have one object. In this game data object, you see this property name is stored as an array, right? Isn't it? In this square bracket, right? This is incredibly powerful. You can generate property name on the fly. This, let's see a more practical example. Check this. You see, they create the dynamic object. The key is dynamic, and this key data we are getting from this here, this parameter, and also key will be the uppercase and value will be to uppercase. Okay. Then is key this key char at 0, initially 0 to uppercase, then this slice by 1 as a valid equal to true. When you console log it, see, we are at first we pass the name, and second is the value as a JavaScript. This is the value, this is the key. Key is the name, and the name is JavaScript, name uppercase. Notice the name uppercase and is name valid. Is name valid. Then it's return true. Okay, great. Now the combine all enhancement. The real magical happens when you combine all the enhancement together. So let's build something interesting here. So notice this is a little bit longer because this enhancement is cover up most of the method. You see, in this function, we are storing ID, name. I mean the parameter is ID, name, price, and category. Okay, it's written the property shorthand. You see the property shorthand already written all the parameter first. Then compute property name, get from the category. Where is the category? This category product category product. Initially true, and timestamp coming from here, this from here, and they create at this time, right? Also the method shorthand, we without using the function, using the callback function, and this is okay, right? The all three method are working together, and this is literally interesting example. All the method cover up here, and please practice more because this is important. These types of syntax and these types of use case you get in the future more and more. Okay, so interesting, right? Okay, now and then lastly, you see this function when you call, and you notice the x is the first is the string, second is the number, and this is the parameter. I mean, it's the return statement what we get from this function. Okay, so initially 1 and 101, then the laptop, and 12. I mean the 4 parameter we pass. I mean argument. Right now, when we create a function, it's called parameter, right? But when we passing something, it's a argument. Okay, this is an argument we pass in this function parameter. Okay, then the console log the laptop, then get details function, and we are getting this data, then apply discount, we get this discount amount, and also check the is affordable, I mean the boolean value, and it's really interesting. Okay, now so now let's see the practical example. This some scenario where the enhanced object literally shine. Okay, the first use case is, suppose we call the use case number 1 is the API response formatting, and this is interesting. Okay, this formatting is really interesting. Remember, because here is something you are truly enjoying in the future. Okay, you see, in this function, receive data, status code, and message. Data is the actual response, status code after response. I mean the if the response whatever the response code is, it's showing the status code, and message will be the if the successful, then showing the success message, or error, then showing the error message. Okay, and you see in return we pass all the parameter, right? And then if this is success, then return this. If we need we get the formatted data, then use the JSON stringify. Okay, initially is this data, we need the initial data, then secondly is the replacer, we don't need, we there this is a null, and third is our space is two space. Okay, then when we use this, the user is this, and it's returned true. I mean this response get a 200 status code with the success message, then the response is success, return true. And this is a interesting example, basic example, but interesting. Okay, so important note. Before we wrap up, I mean, there are few important things to keep in mind. First is the method shorthand and arrow function. Method shorthand is important, not same as arrow function. Okay, I mean, in the method shorthand, this is the method shorthand and the arrow function. This this is a little bit different from the arrow function. Okay, if you see, this one is okay. Check this. Okay, this is a method shorthand, and these work normally. You see, this is a method shorthand, and this actually work perfectly. But here, notice in this method shorthand we are using the parentheses, but here we actually use the arrow function. This is a direct function, I mean method shorthand, and this is the arrow function with the clone and actually arrow function like the lexical bond. Okay, this is a lexical bond. Okay, that's why these are not working. I mean this keyword is not working here because this keyword inherit in arrow function. Okay, that's it. Not refer to the object. Another example is the compound computed. The second example, name with the symbol. This is the example. You see, this is user name and unique key. When you check the user dot unique key, because this key is in array, I mean type of unique key, right? Then when user dot use unique key you did if you set this value, then you get the exactly what the value is here. Okay. Another example, another important point is you can mix old and new syntax together. Sometimes we do this because it's really rare use case, but sometimes we use it. Like this shorthand name as the traditional is city and the grading. Okay, and this is the method. This is the traditional. This is the shorthand. Okay. The final conclusion is enhanced object literal in ES6 gives us the property shorthand, method shorthand, computed property names, right? It's computer property names means the dynamic property creation. This one, dynamically property create. This feature make your code more conscious, readable, and maintainable. You start using them in your project today. Okay. In the next video, we will explore the for off loop and how it work with the iterable. Make sure you practice this concept. Try creating some object using all three enhancement we cover up today. If you found this helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more JavaScript content, and drop a comment if you have any question. I will see you in the next one.